depending on your recovery time, but 72 hours is usually the golden rule for that. For the beginners, it's usually at the bottom. For the advanced guys, it's usually about 2 inches above parallel when the gear lets go and start to have to use your body to have to move the weight versus all the gear. And sometimes you'll see sticking points at the very top if the technique's a little bit messed up. As far as pushing your knees out and keeping your back erect, some people can fall forward at the top if their technique's not good. Usually it takes the bigger guys longer to stretch out under the bar due to their muscle mass and things like that. So the specific warm-ups that we use usually entail just lighter weights before we get to our heavier sets. We utilize a little bit of tread sled dragging, hamstring warm-ups, anything for abdominals. Usually everything's pretty light. I've noticed with people that have muscular imbalances with the left or the right, we'll warm up the weaker leg to make sure that everything's a little bit more centered versus having pushing on a left or a right side. Stability work's added for 2 reasons. One, to learn to stay tight under weights, and 2, to get a central nervous system break. Making something more difficult without making it heavier can be advantageous when you train heavy weights all the time. That way, when you're doing something in stability, it's hard because you have to stabilize versus hard because it's just heavy in weight. So it teaches you to lock in with lighter weights and make something more difficult that's lighter. So that way your central nervous system is saved that week, but also your stability is increased, therefore helping you transfer over to heavyweight. The change for stability entails you having to keep them completely off the ground. So when you use chains for stability, you don't set them up like normal chains where they touch the ground and they come off the ground. You utilize them where they're hanging completely free in the air, where they can sway and move. Yes, I do speed work. We usually do it on the opposite day of what this program's written, and we fluctuate between different exercises. But sometimes, I would say about 30 or 40% of the time, we utilize more of a repetition method than we utilize speed. So we'll do sets of 5 up to moderate weights instead of doing speed. But I wouldn't recommend that for beginners because they haven't learned how to flex quickly yet. So for more advanced guys where they've done speed work for multiple bouts and years, then you would want to switch over to utilizing more of a repetition method to develop some muscle mass, since you already learned how to fire quickly.